Who is really giving President Trump advice? Pastor Jack Hibbs issues an urgent warning. Trump announces the U.S. takeover of Gaza. Was this foretold by the ancient prophets? Plus, there's prophetic warnings and comments about the Nephilim in Gaza. Plus, the president's youngest son is gaining popularity online. Hear about Barron Trump in a way that you might not be aware of. I'm John Matarazzo for charismanews.com. These are your top stories of the week. Pastor Jack Hibbs issues an urgent warning to Trump on his advisors. In a video recently put out by Pastor Jack Hibbs, the presidential inauguration often includes a national prayer service meant to unify the nation. At the center of the issue was an Episcopal bishop who, instead of offering a unifying prayer, used the moment for a political message. Hibbs called it a debacle and questioned, is there anything more sinister than this that would be a planned debacle? He also criticizes her credentials, stating, according to 1st and 2nd Timothy and Titus, she is not a bishop. Hibbs expressed concern over those advising Trump on religious matters. Whoever's picking Trump's religious exposure makes me cringe. I'm terrified. If I were Trump, I wouldn't accept another invitation to a church. I wouldn't do it. It's too risky. He urged Trump to surround himself with a handful of people that say, Mr. President, here's what's going on. Without proper vetting, he warned somebody already screwed up on the first day out the gate. Not good. Well, there will be news to come about the president's new faith advisory board position in office that has been opened in the White House, not somewhere in D.C., not somewhere in another state, but in the White House, having close proximity to the president. There will be more about that to come. Amanda Grace gives a prophetic warning, Trump and the fall of Gaza. In a time of global uncertainty and spiritual shifting, prophetic voice Amanda Grace has issued a powerful warning about the United States' involvement in Gaza, connecting these developments to a divine reversal in the Middle East. She says, right now, there is a plot against the president. I'm talking about territorial spirits are bringing an outcry in the realm of the spirit based on what has just been done. She points out that Trump's announcements regarding Gaza came 67 days before Passover, which she says has great prophetic significance. I encourage you to click the link in the description to read the article yourself so that you can see what she means about this prophetic significance. Take a look at that. Now, Nephilim in Gaza, this is a trending topic, especially with what happens in Gaza, because there is a spiritual stronghold because it was never deposed by the Joshua and Caleb and the children of Israel. And we have some experts that have had discussions about that. In a surprising turn of events, President Donald Trump recently met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and announced the United States would take control of Gaza and rebuild the area. While this sounds like a bold political move, there is a deeper, more spiritual side to the story, one that ties back to ancient biblical history and the legend of the Nephilim. Gaza isn't just a battleground, it's a spiritual hotspot. L.A. Marzulli explains that Joshua and Caleb go in and they destroy all the Nephilim tribes except in Gaza. Rabbi Jason Sobel confirms this and actually explains it even further. And also in the same video, Mondo Gonzalez of Prophecy Watchers, he describes Nephilim as half human and half demonic with supernatural strength and size. And he talks more about this stronghold that was never fully removed. Now, how does this apply for us today? With what President Donald Trump has just announced, there is a lot of speculation about this, and there is a spiritual stronghold that will need to be deposed. I had the opportunity to talk to Rabbi Jason just yesterday, and I asked him just his opinion about this, just his thoughts about this Gaza announcement. And what he said blew my mind. I was amazed. I was not expecting what came out. He brings up that in a move that no one ever expected happening, President Donald Trump announced that the United States would take over the Gaza Strip. And Rabbi Jason Sobel shared with us a verse from Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 4. He says that for Gaza will be abandoned. Ashkelon will be a wasteland. He says, I will destroy you and none will be left. The land by the sea will become pastures, having wells for shepherds and pens for flocks. The land will belong to the remnant of the people of Judah, where they will find pasture. He explains a lot more in our conversation that you need to watch. There will be a link to that in the description here. And then he goes on to say that there is prophetic instance of cyclical Torah readings which have been connected to major events in history. The Torah reading for this week in itself has an interesting connection to what took place when Trump made his announcement. This week's Torah portion is talking about the Philistines. The Palestinians call themselves the Philistines. There is a lot more that I could cover, so you just need to watch it yourself here. And Barron Trump is gaining popularity as he has advised his father to get onto multiple podcasts leading up to the presidential election day, where he eventually did win and won the youth vote by 36%. Trump credits his son for a lot of this wisdom here. And with me today to talk about this and more, to help us understand about who this young man is Troy Anderson. Well, Troy, Barron Trump is in the news, or actually, rather, he's all over meme land, all over X, all over Instagram, with these very entertaining memes and videos, especially from the inauguration day. And we want to talk about this because you wrote the book, The Trump Code, and one of the main characters in that is Barron Trump. Just kind of give us an overview of that for people that aren't aware of who the Trump Chronicles are, the Barron Trump Chronicles. So welcome back.
Oh, yeah, it's great to be on your show, John. So, yeah, it's very fascinating. The Trump Code explores largely what's called the Barron Trump Collection. It's a series of fictional books by Ingersoll Lockwood, came out in the 1890s. And the drawing on the cover of the book, which is at the Library of Congress, shows this little boy named Barron Trump, and he looks strikingly like President Trump's son. This is a series of books came out 130 years ago, and he's guided by Don, the master of all masters, and they go on time traveling adventures. And so this is like really caught on YouTube and TikTok. Videos got millions and millions of views. Joe Rogan just talked about it last week, and there's all kinds of videos coming out. So it's very interesting that Barron Trump is now stepping up, and we're finding out he's played a large role in President Trump's reelection. He encouraged him to go on the Joe Rogan show, which got tens and tens of millions of views. So it's a very fascinating time to be looking at what the possible future of this young man.
And so the question is out there, is Barron Trump a time traveler? And we're going to dive into that a little bit here. But let's take a look at some of these more viral clips that are going out there and some of these memes. Let's first take a look at something that Don said, or President Trump rather, said about his son in front of everybody as the inauguration ball or one of those festivities was happening here.
And then I have a very tall son named Barron. Has anyone ever heard of him?
The crowd loves him. And I love that move.
He knew the youth vote. We won the youth vote by 36 points. And he was saying, Dad, you got to go out and do this one and that one. And we did a lot of them. And he respects them all. He understood them very well. And he said, Dad, you got to go out, do Joe Rogan, do all these guys. And we did. We did, and Joe Rogan was great. They were all great, right, Barron? They were all good.
So here, President Trump is crediting Barron with the idea of going on all these podcasts. And now this presidency, I just heard about it again, referred to as the podcast presidency. It's a very interesting concept of how by doing these podcast appearances, they really credit that to why he won the youth vote by 36 points, which is unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly played a huge role in President Trump's reelection. Reportedly, he may have an IQ of 170. He's 6'7", and has captured the imagination of young people and has played this this key role in advising President Trump and how to seek reelection. So just who exactly is this guy, and what may the future hold for him?
Yeah. So what do you think he's doing with his hand by the ear there as people are clapping and applauding for him?
Well, I guess maybe there's two ways to interpret that. One is I hear you, thank you, perhaps, or he's 18 years old. Maybe it's a little bit of ego there, like his father. I'm not exactly sure.
I don't know, but it just seemed like it just seemed like something that everybody fed off of as well. But another thing that happened earlier in that day was actually at the inauguration service, where he had some cryptic words with the now former president.
What exactly did Barron Trump say to Joe Biden? A body language expert offers a fresh interpretation. On the day of the inauguration, Barron extended his hand to shake Biden's, and Biden smiled at Barron. However, while shaking hands, Barron appeared to say something, after which Biden's smile faded. Based on lip reading, some have interpreted Barron as saying, "It's time," because after speaking, he returned to Melania's side, and it seemed like his mother was confirming if he had indeed said, "It's time." Barron nodded affirmatively. Others, however, speculate that Barron might have said, "You're done," which could have caused Biden to lose his smile. However, body language expert Judy James offered a different interpretation. She described Barron as very confident, noting that his movements were elegant and charming. She believes that Barron is now an adult, and at this point, his parents typically handle the aftermath, while Barron only needs to take the time to shake hands with others and say a few kind words to ease any tension. She concluded that Barron was simply being polite, while Biden likely didn't want to continue pretending to be happy in such a setting.
Interesting concept there, Troy. What do you think about that?
Well, if he didn't say it's time, that's rather intriguing because the Trump code is called the Trump Code, exploring time travel, Nikola Tesla, the Trump lineage in America's future, and that's what's really caught people's imagination on all these TikTok and YouTube videos. Is there some kind of time travel technologies? We explore that in the Trump Code. Is it possible? Does the government have some kind of primitive time travel kind of stuff? So did he make some kind of cryptic reference to that? He's obviously a very intelligent kid. But the other statement he may have made is "You're done," and I sort of lean more towards that. That's what he probably said. And now just look what's happening today. I mean, Elon Musk, founder of Tesla, interestingly enough, is now in charge of Doge. They're discovering pot. I think Musk has come out and said there could be $1 trillion of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government that they're trying to uncover right now. He's got these super smart kids that are uncovering this through AI, and they got access to the federal payment system. So it's a brand new day. They're discovering all this corruption. It's just mind blowing what's coming out in the news today.
It really is, and regardless of what he said there, people are speculating, and these clips, like the one that we just showed, are going viral all over the internet, and it's all over X, especially. That's where I get a lot of updates and things, just because Trump is moving so fast that the news cycle, which used to be like ahead of everything, they are now about 2 days behind, about 48 hours behind what Trump is actually doing. And so he's moving at a breakneck speed. And part of that is the person that you just mentioned, that it would be Elon Musk. And this is another picture or video from the inauguration day where you can actually see Barron Trump and Elon Musk next to each other as Trump made an announcement about going to Mars. And so you can kind of see these two guys right next to each other. And Barron is very stoic. And here's Elon Musk, 2 thumbs up and very excited about Mars and the United States kind of, committing to making that exploration happen. But Troy, you just told me before we hit record here that there was some other interesting writings that actually connect to Elon Musk.
So the Trump Code puts together this 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of how God is working through President Trump, this new team, and just the future of America and the future of the world. And the subtitle, like I mentioned, is exploring time travel, Nikola Tesla, Trump lineage, and America's future. And interestingly enough, President Trump is working closely with Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, who says he was inspired to create the Tesla by Nikola Tesla, the genius inventor of lived in the 1800s to mid 1940s. In fact, President Trump's father or uncle, John Trump, and a highly respected professor at MIT, was called in by the FBI to look at all of Tesla's documents when he died in 1943, and he talked about time travel and wireless communications. He was the father of the modern electric grid and all kinds of possible top secret technologies that the government may now have. And so it's very interesting that on the Joe Rogan show just recently, he mentioned that Wernher von Braun, the famous rocket scientist, Nazi rocket scientist, wrote a book in the early 1950s, a fictional book called Project Mars. And he mentioned that a guy named Elon would lead the human mission to Mars. So there's just all these intriguing pieces of this puzzle that we're putting together now.
Yeah, they're definitely seeming to be falling into place in ways that we weren't expecting. I mean, Elon is a very unique name, I think, whatever culture you're in. And I don't know if his parents had the idea of naming him based from that book, but he is following in the footsteps of that fictional character in a huge way, something that I don't think anybody could have predicted. But here's another one of these meme formats that is kind of catching a lot of speed here right now, is Barron Trump leaning over his father's shoulder, giving him some advice. And in this particular one, it says, "Deport the fat ones first, father." And that's in a way that's very it's I don't even know how to describe it. It's a little bit of a dark humor there, but people are using this meme format for so many different things, where it's more stoic, but a little bit of a dark humor there. But even though Barron seems rather stoic, we know that he's bright. He speaks multiple languages, and he's a master chess player, we've heard as well. What with this concept of this meme, what are you thinking about with this as relating to what you studied?
Yeah, so the very interesting about Barron Trump is in the Barron Trump collection, this series of novels in the 1890s by Ingersoll Lockwood. The final book in this series, this is what really caught people's attention. It's called The Last President. And so there's been videos on YouTube and TikTok. In fact, I just went on Jewish Voice. I think that YouTube video's got like 120,000 views now. The title is Trump the Last President? And so that's a question people are asking. Is it possible that President Trump could be the last president? Is God just giving us this temporary reprieve to bring in the great harvest revival? Or could this be extended over a long period of time? And so that's the other question people are asking, is because of Barron Trump's sort of rise, his popularity now, could he be the last president decades from now? And could that have been predicted in the Barron Trump collection by Ingersoll Lockwood back in the 1800s? So, these are all intriguing questions we explore in the Trump Code. And the book just hit #1 bestseller again. It's been a #1 bestseller multiple times. So I think a lot of people are very fascinated by this topic.
Yeah. And so, Troy, we thank you for doing this book, writing this book, and doing all this research with it as well. And being able to kind of give us updates as new wrinkles are unfolded in the new chronicles of Barron Trump. So, Troy Anderson, thank you so much for being with us today to talk more about this.
Yeah, thank you so much. God bless you.
I'm John Matarazzo for charismanews.com. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe for more content, and let us know in the comments what you think about these stories and all the content that we put out. Have a great day.